Happy Monday once again, everyone. Bryan Devore, Devore Realty Group, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties. The first Monday of June, we're almost halfway through the year. This week, we're going to answer the question, how can you afford an extra $100,000? Meaning a home that is priced $100,000 more. Well, we'll answer that question in just a minute. Keep that in mind as we go through the latest stats right now. Right now, we have 4,042 homes for sale. We have now eclipsed the 4,000 home mark. That's 101 more than we had this time a week ago. The median list price, no change, $1,025,000. Average days on market, 41, also no change. Pending sales, 2,417, 7 more than last week. Median list price, $899, lower than it was last week. No change in the average days on market, 23. Months of inventory is now 2, so we're back over 2 again. A couple weeks ago, we were over 2. Last week, we were below, and now we're back over 2 once again, kind of bouncing around. Here's a chart showing total actives and total pendings. You can see total actives continue to go up. Total pendings is kind of flattening out a little bit. Since last week, we saw 850 homes come on the market. That's 52 more than came on the market the week before, with a median list price of $999, higher than it was the week before. New pendings, 393, 55 fewer than last week. So we saw more homes coming on the market than the week before, fewer homes going into escrow. Is the market turning a little bit? Even as we're getting into the sweet spot of the market, it may seem that way. Median list price of $898, which is lower than it was for the ones that went pending the week before. Average days on market 18, so 2 fewer. So homes actually are selling faster. New pendings listed within the last week, 18. New pendings listed within the last 2 weeks, 164. So 4% of homes are selling in a week or less, and almost half are selling in 2 weeks or less. That's less. It was 52% were selling in 2 weeks or less. And it really depends on which market we're looking at, because some homes are staying in the market longer. Other homes are still selling in a week or less, depending on how they're priced and where they are. Since last week, excuse me, we saw 376 closed sales, 48 fewer than last week. Median list price of $955,500, higher than the week before. Median sales price $982,500, which is also higher than it was the week before. We're almost at $1 million for the median sales price of homes. Unbelievable. Average days on market 18, 4 fewer days versus the ones that closed escrow last week. The least expensive sale was in Palomar Mountain. It was a cabin for $200,000, kind of cool. And the most expensive sale was in Rancho Santa Fe for $11,300,000. Here's a chart showing new pendings, new actives, new pendings, and new closed sales. We can kind of see week to week, the number of homes that are coming on the market are kind of bouncing around a little bit, up, down, up, down, up, down. Pendings, however, over the last few weeks is continuing to trend downwards, which is usually this is the time of year where we're at the highest. We're getting there anyway. And then closed sales also kind of bouncing around quite a bit. Pricing, however, continues to go up over the last few weeks, with a median sales price higher than the median list price. Stephen Thomas just came out with his reports on housing, and you can see in San Diego County the active listings year over year. You can see the trajectory for this year is definitely going up. And we're still way below the active listing inventory from the 3-year average before COVID, 2017 to 2019. But we are at the highest level of inventory over the last couple years since the pandemic began. We are higher, and we're trending higher. Partially because we're seeing more coming on the market, and we're seeing more stay on the market also. And it is flatter than it was in 2022 as far as the trajectory is concerned, but it is going up. Meanwhile, the demand is easing. It's going in the other direction. We still have more demand than we did in last year. So the fact that we have more inventory is balanced out with the higher demand than it was last year. But the demand is still way below where it was in the years prior. I do want to go, actually, I'm going to go back real quick. Look at the listing inventory. See where we started in January versus now. We have 55% more homes on the market now than we did a year ago, which is a lot more in a short amount of time. The demand really peaked up in February and has been kind of flat for quite a while. What will help with more inventory coming on the market and more demand? Well, it's interest rates. We've been talking about interest rates coming down. When's that going to happen? We're not sure, but it is the interest rate factor that will help you afford a home that costs $100,000 more. In Stephen Thomas's report, which I can send to you, it shows if you want a $5,000 desired monthly payment, and those are the different interest rates you have: 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, which is about where we're at right now. Right now, you could afford a home with a 20% down payment, principal, and interest only, of $940,000. But if rates came down a 0.5%, you'd be at 988, 750. And if they came down a full percent, and we're hoping that obviously at some point they do get down to 6% again, you can afford a home of $1,042,500. So if rates came down 1%, you could afford a lot more home. Or you could also buy the same home and pay less money. So we do need interest rates to come down. It'll help with more available inventory, and it'll probably create much more demand. It'll be interesting to see what happens and when that happens, when rates do come down. That's it for this week's Monday Market Moment. Don't forget to scan the QR code to track your home's value. If you have any questions about this report and how it might affect you, or if you want Stephen Thomas's full reports on housing, feel free to give me a call or send me a text. Next week, we'll report from his report on closed sales and market time and so forth, and also introduce some new stats on not just Southern California, but other parts of California and other parts of the country as well, from Stephen Thomas. Have a great week. I look forward to seeing you next Monday.